Zombie Killer Zack by Quentin Bennett.
Chapter 1 Zombie Killer. 30 years ago, the first zombie outbreak broke out over in the west of the U.S. soon after many other types of viruses broke out throughout the world, but the most hit is the United States, and one by one each state goes dark. Now the world belongs to them, the undead, of all kinds, to the common slow-walking zombies, to the vampires and werewolves. But there is hope, as the U.S. created a task force like no other, known only as zombie killers. Said a young girl 18 years old tucking in a bunch of kids by the fire. Liz, it's time for you and the others to go scavenge. So, stop telling kids stories and get going, said the older man wearing an old worn-out white long-sleeved shirt and blue overalls. Also carrying a belt with 2 knives on the left side and a pistol in holster on the right. Liz got up and walked out the house, looking at the tall walls of the surrounding village of what used to be Town Square. Liz took a deep breath and started walking towards the gate. The 2 guards wave at Liz as she smiled back and wave. "Hi, Liz, heading out today?" asked one of the guards. "Yeah, Trent. Dad just told me to go out to scavenge," said Liz as she geared up and checked her handgun. "You're sure about this?" "It's still very dark," said Trent as he and the other guard getting ready to open the gate. Liz waved him off. "Don't worry, Trent, it's about 2 hours till dawn. I think I can manage," said Liz, walking up to the gate as it is opening. "I'm going with you," said Trent, walking beside Liz as she got on a motorcycle. Liz let out a loud sigh and cranked on the engine. Trent did the same. "Fine, just keep close and don't make too much noise," said Liz, driving off. "Right," said Trent, taking off after her. They both drive a few miles across the ruined back roads, passing a few slow-walking corpses, zombies known to them as stragglers, a very common strain of the virus called black timber virus in this part of the States. Their skin black and bark-like skin that's slowly breaking apart and tearing their bleeding flesh out. Liz and Trent ignore them as they drive by making their way down the hills in view of an old turned-down police station, fully overgrown with small trees and grass. "This is the place?" asked Trent as they bikes come to a stop and silence. "Yeah, we just going to have a look around here one more time and see if we find anything we miss here," said Liz as she pulled out her handgun, and Trent did the same. "I don't get it. How many times do we need to come here?" asked Trent as they slowly make their to the rundown doorway. Liz covered Trent's mouth with her hand and hushed him. "Listen," whispered Liz as they took cover behind old burnt-down police car covered with moss. A waspy moan can be heard from inside as a straggler comes stepping out the opening of the doorway. "A straggler," whispered Liz as she signals to Trent to get behind the creature. Trent nods his head, pulled the knife, quickly snuck behind the creature, and struck the knife at the back head of the straggler. Trent kicked the straggler off the knife, and the zombie fall to the dirt. "Fucking hates these things," whispered Trent as he slowly takes a look inside the building with Liz right behind him. "Looks clear," whispered Trent, and Liz walked in gun ready for anything. "Yeah, let's get this done fast. The sun is coming up soon, so I like to have a good breakfast." Liz passed by the desk, looking at the signs saying left armory and right garage. "Let's split up like last time, so we can get the hell out of here, Trent," said Liz as she heads down to the left hallway. Trent did the same on the right, agreed, said Trent, making his way to the garage. As Liz makes her way down the hallway, the light of dawn started to light up the halls a little, showing vines, dust, and moss all down the halls. The armory is just ahead, thought Liz, but noticing some unusual gray slime on the walls. "What is this?" thought Liz as she got to the armory door that is fully covered with the gray slime. Liz covers her nose and took a few steps back. "Oh God, that stench," thought Liz. "This is not good, something else is here." Liz started to run as fast as she can out the hallway. "Trent," yelled Liz, but there was no response. A long, quiet time passed, and Liz's legs, hands began to shake, and she took a deep breath and started to make her way to the garage. The walls down the halls to the garage is covered with gray slime, and as she got to the opening, she sees the walls covered in hardened gray slime and cocooned core all over the walls. Liz is in deep shock seeing all this and took a step back, but heard a voice. Liz's. Liz looked deep in the dark corner of the garage. Liz sees Trent cocooned in the gray slimed walls. "Oh my God, Trent," whispered Liz as she runs up to Trent, trying to break him out of the cocoon. "Run," said Trent. Liz then heard a very odd clicking noise, all in the dark shadows. Liz points her gun everywhere she heard that sounds. She then took more steps back to the doorway. Then at the corner of her eye she sees a grayish-skinned and bone creature, head solid bone skull with no eyes, nose, and dark gray slime. Liz didn't move out of fear of seeing the approaching creature. It made clicking sounds as it got closer and closer, but as it was about to get closer, Liz grabbed the old mop handle on the slimy floor and hit the hard skull. It stumbles back as Liz made a run for it. She rushes down the dark hallway as the clicking screams come closer behind her. She made it outside, only to trip over her own feet. She curls into a ball waiting for the coming assault. But the assault never comes, only the sound of a hard thud on the ground next to her. She glances next to her to see the unmoving body of the creature. Hearing footsteps, she looks up ahead to see a tall man in a worn-out dirty black duster, fully covered head to toe in black. A blade straps to the back. Metal stakes a belt full of many tools and items. But what she notices most of the man is his gas mask with red orbs glow in the dark as the triangle dog tag sign in the light. "Get up," rasped the masked man. Liz tries to get up on her feet, only to throw up due to the shock of what happens. The masked man stands there not moving and said as he readies his pistol, "Are you bitten?" Liz waves her hands in a panic. "No.no." The masked man suddenly put his hand over her mouth and give a sign of quit with his finger where his lips will be. Hearing clicking noises, Liz looked behind her to see two more of those skull-like creatures at the entrance of the ruined building. The masked man let go of her face and took a few steps forward and stomped his boot hard to the ground loudly. The two creatures turned his direction and sprinted towards him, pulling out a long blade, and with one gracefully spine of the blade, hewed off the two creatures' heads. The two headless core fell to the ground as the masked man flicked the blood off his blade. In shock, Liz shook her head to ease her nerves and ran towards back the entrance. "Trent. He's still trappin' inside," spoken Liz, but was cut off by as the masked man hand hold up his hand for her to stop. Skull clickers are very susceptible to sounds. They attack its victims and trap them in a cocoon, and once cocooned, they become skull clickers, said the masked man as her walk in the building, leaving Liz on her knees in tears. The masked man walks down the slimy hallway and comes to a shaky Trent in the cocoon, his face now gray, hair gone and eyes hanging out. "Please kill me," he muttered as the masked man pulled out his blade again as Liz walked up behind him with tears running down her face, looking at her now dying friend. "The only way to kill the skull clickers is to cut off the head." "Be at peace," said the masked man. Trent able to give a weak smile and reply, "Thank you." The blade swooped down fast and his head fall to the floor. The hallway was silent for a moment, and the masked man walked past Liz as he pulls out a small bottle. "What are you doing?" asked Liz. The masked man didn't look her way as he replied, "The skull clicker slime is very toxic to long-time exposure and can be flammable with the right type of acid." He poured the acid on the hardened slime. Smoke rise up and flames flicker up to a raging fire. The masked man walked away as Liz follows after him. The masked man made his way out the now burning building, but stopped as Liz asks him, You're a zombie killer, are you?" The masked man turns to her as the sun fully beamed down on his solo at and replied, "I'm zombie killer number 10026, Zack."
Thank you everyone for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will bring more stories to you. Thank you. Bye.